Happiness can be improved and stabilized on a permanent basis by doing this selfless action, by doing voluntary work, by giving yourself without having any expectations in return, simply giving yourself. So I moved out, I got myself a job, and it was the life everybody has when they're 20 and 30s. I had a nice life. I rented a house in Bucharest. I had a car. I was earning good money because I had a good job. And it was very nice. And I managed with all that to keep a very constant spiritual practice. Every day I was doing Hatha Yoga. Every day I was meditating. Every day, everything that I was doing, all my job, I was translating and teaching English. And I would offer that to the universe. And I would earn money from it, good money, but I would still offer it to the universe. And I would do that, and life was pleasant, life was nice, and I had money, I could go, I could socialize, I could go to restaurants, cinemas, do trips, buy gifts for my beloved, everything. It was really nice for a year and a half, when something inside of me started burning. And I realized that what was burning was the desire to purify the actions that I'm doing even more. And the desire was to give myself even more. Because what I was doing now was I was following my life, my dreams, my intentions, my desires, my aspirations, my understanding of things. And yes, still offering it to the Supreme, still doing it as a Karma Yoga, but it was mine, the way I see things, the way I want them to be, the way I dream of them. And yeah, if the universe agrees to that, I'm fine, it's wonderful. If it not, then well, we negotiate a bit, we find some middle path there, and I can live with that, but I'm just following my dreams. Well, after about 1 year, that thing began to change. And I realized that there's an emptiness inside. With all that beauty, with all that fulfillment from, having a good social life, having a good financial situation, having everything that you want to have to very reasonable degrees. I wasn't rich or luxurious or anything, but just having a good life. But still something inside of me was lacking. And it was something very profound. And I immediately realized that what was lacking was the kind of fulfillment that I experienced previously when I was working in the publishing house. The one in which I was really putting myself there fully, really giving myself, even if I wasn't receiving any salary, even if sometimes I would work 20 hours per day to finish a text by a deadline. Even if the team would sometimes be irritating me there, yeah. But the fact that I was doing something very selfless, or to a much higher degree of selflessness than anything else in my life, before or after that, created a contrast, and it gave me a reference. And I realized that I cannot feel fulfilled if I don't give myself fully. In that moment, I realized I have two choices. Either I stay with this comfortable life and play it by the social rules and have, the nice, pleasant experience, or I actually follow this that my heart is burning for, which is social life doesn't matter. What matters is that you are in this pure relationship with the things that you're doing, with the universe, and you're just giving yourself fully, no matter what rewards you receive and not receive. Rewards are not important, no matter what they are, money, appreciation, validation, no matter what. So I had to choose social life, Karma Yoga life, in the real sense in which you really give yourself fully. And I realized, quite quickly, that definitely I go for Karma Yoga, because otherwise there will be an emptiness inside that will remain. Because I know how it feels like when you do Karma Yoga. That's the first time for me when Karma Yoga stood out as a real spiritual practice. And I realized what it can take you to. So in that moment, I decided to drop it all. When I decided to do that, I met Blandine in a summer retreat a few weeks later. And meeting Blandine was a life changer for me, because a few minutes after I met, it wasn't the first time I met Blandine, but I met her again after some years, after some months probably. But the fact that I met her in that moment, in just a few minutes, it was that everything completely shifted, because she said, look, we're looking for somebody to come to Thailand and to start teaching yoga here, to help us with the school here. And I realized this is what I want to do. This is a place where I can give myself fully. This is a place where I can leave aside all my social intentions, life dreams and all this, and just be selfless. And so I came here in 2017 with this big desire to give myself completely, and I started paying much more attention to Karma Yoga. I started paying much more attention to how selfless I am in my actions. Because you see, we understand Karma Yoga mainly through this initial gesture that we do within our community, that you offer it all to the Supreme. Yeah, this is the first thing. And then perhaps as a secondary thing, that it's voluntary work, namely that you don't get paid for it. Yeah, so these are the two, let's say, dimensions that we initially encounter in Karma Yoga. But there's another one. There's much more. But the next one for me was just paying attention to being more selfless in my attitude when I'm doing all the things that I'm doing. Paying attention that I'm not infiltrating there some individual personal intentions, some desires to be seen in a particular way, to be seen as a yoga teacher, to be seen as a good speaker, to be seen as a good team member, as a reliable part of the community, and so on. And instead just give myself more and more and more. And it has been very transforming for me to do this. And when I had now this hiatus due to the current situation in which, I flew back to Romania, I flew back to Europe in 2020, a few days before Thailand got shut down. And then I had to stay away from Thailand for a year and not do the things that I'm generally doing here. I continued to do Karma Yoga to the extent that I could do in Europe, but I was also, involved in more other things, more personal things, more family things, social things, and so on. And already after a few months, I felt, no, this is no longer for me. It's no longer fulfilling. I feel like a fish outside on the shore on dry land. It's not fulfilling me deeply. So I came back. Now, there are these two elements that I want to highlight as a conclusion from my story. The first is that Karma Yoga reveals itself in time. And it's not something that you can necessarily perceive the spiritual effects of very quickly. Yeah, I thought I did Karma Yoga initially for 2-3 years, and I was doing it 6 hours a week. But I didn't get any profound spiritual states from that. Well, in time, I've noticed a very profound transformation in me. Namely, I'm much more happy on a stable level, on a continuous level. Like my level of happiness has risen and has stayed continuous. There are not more of these fluctuations, even if bad things happen, even if sadness happens, even if life happens with its ups and downs, my inner state is constant. And I realized that this is all due to Karma Yoga. Yes, I'm also practicing Hatha Yoga, I'm also practicing meditation, but it all comes from the fact that I aim to just be less and less burdened with personal interests, expectations, desire, dreams, and so on, and just be more of what the universe needs me to be. And the universe, if you just let yourself free in the arms of the universe, it always places you exactly where you need to be. And there's no heaviness in that. You gain this trust that you're always the right person in the right time, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then there's a certain lightness, but beyond this lightness, there is this very profound feeling of connection with everything. And this is what causes this feeling in the heart of happiness, this stability. About 2 years ago, actually, when I was researching a bit more to see, well, is there anything that maybe researchers have come across that would justify such an inner experience in the social studies, in the psychology studies, in these different attempts to understand human nature. And it was very interesting, because I found in psychology there is this interesting subject of the baseline of happiness. And there's a big question that psychologists, sociologists, and all the people around this area are trying to answer. Namely, can we as humans shift our baseline of happiness and just keep it there? So can our happiness increase and remain stable? Because, yeah, happiness fluctuates. You win the lottery, you get happy. You lose your car, you get an accident, you go unhappy. And you're just moving up and down, and then the baseline of happiness is staying basically the same there. Can you increase this baseline of happiness so that actually when something bad happens, when you come back at a higher level, not at a lower level, not at the ground level? And there was one study that revealed something very interesting. They revealed that the only way they found that this can be improved so happiness can be improved and stabilized on a permanent basis is by doing this selfless action, by doing voluntary work, by giving yourself without having any expectations in return, simply giving yourself. Yeah, it's not winning the lottery. They were analyzing people who won the lottery. They were analyzing people who have good jobs, good careers. Happiness does not increase. Yeah, sharp moments like these peaks of happiness might appear, but then appear in anyone's life. Yeah, we adjust this to our circumstances. We can be happy. Some people can be just as happy as somebody who wins the lottery. Yeah, the level of happiness of somebody who earns the lottery, it can be the same as the level of happiness of a beggar who receives a loaf of bread, basically. Yeah, and it goes like this. This is our life. But then, can we actually increase it on a stable level, or at a higher degree? Yes, we can. I can tell you from my own experience. I feel very stable in my happiness now. And around is not a very pink situation right now in the world, as you see. It didn't bring me down at all. Yeah, it made me think, it made me contemplate, it made me try to understand, it made me ask myself a lot of big questions, but it didn't bring me down at all. During the lockdown, during this all sorts of restrictions that happened, and incapacity to see your beloveds and to see your family and to see the people whom you care of and to do the things that you need to do, it didn't bring me down. So this is one aspect, that Karma Yoga grows in time to be a spiritual practice, and you need to be perseverant with it. My spiritual guide said like this, that you see at the beginning, we do Karma Yoga. Yeah? We say we do 1 hour of Karma Yoga. We devote 1 hour of our day to do the things that we're doing, like you're doing. You know, you're translating a book, you're helping us, you're translating an article, publishing something there, writing a little blurb, finding a nice image for our Facebook. And we label that as Karma Yoga, but actually Karma Yoga is the inner attitude of selflessness. So we're only doing Karma Yoga in as much as we really maintain this continuous state of selflessness, self-giving, and of offering it all to the Supreme on a constant basis. And he was saying, look, when we do Karma Yoga, we start at around 5%. So actually, the inner attitude of real selflessness is somewhere at 5%, and then 95% is our mixed feelings about it, our intentions, our desires, our own expectations for rewards and so on. And that's the degree we start with, generally speaking. But then the more we do it, and this is the secret to continue to do it, the more this percentage increases. And I can tell you from my own experience, because at the beginning I thought it's not much of a spiritual result that you can get from Karama Yoga. Now I see that probably the biggest results, spiritual results in my life, come from this, from Karama Yoga. The second aspect I've noticed was that whereas Karama Yoga can be understood in this broader meaning of just offering everything to the Supreme, offering the fruits of our actions to the Supreme, as is described in the Bhagavad Gita, the real transformation comes when you don't follow your desires in doing that. Yeah? It's not like, but just a moment, this is my desire, universe, can I please somehow negotiate that it's your desire also, and it's a win-win situation. I also get it, you also get it, and we both win. You do it like that, yeah, it's nice. You develop this understanding of how the whole works and how you work as a part in this bigger puzzle. And it's good. But if you want real spiritual results, real transformation, then there needs to be this friction between what you actually wanted, let's say, in life, generally speaking, and then just letting go of that, and just doing complete selfless work. Maybe you didn't want to clean toilets in your life. Well, go clean toilets for a year as Karama Yoga, and the transformation that will appear if you really remain selfless. And if you do it as an experiment, you don't stay grumpy all the time. Why on earth am I just rubbing and scrubbing these toilets now? No, you do it, let's see how it goes. Let's see, let me really give myself fully to this. And then, so having this attitude of letting go of your small dreams and your particular individual desires and your mental perspectives and understandings about what you should be doing in life, and just selflessly giving yourself to something that probably wasn't even your intention for this life. I started doing this as an experiment in my 3 years in the ashram in Bucharest, but this is when I got the taste of Karama Yoga. And since I got the taste of Karama Yoga, I cannot be fulfilled with any other taste when it comes to how I interact with the universe, with how I place myself in relationship to anything else around me. I'm sure it will stay with me for the rest of my life. I've seen it now. When I was back to Europe, it was again an opportunity for me to test it. Is it really like this? Do I really feel like nothing else fulfills me profoundly but this attitude of selflessness? And yes, even though life in Europe for me is much more pleasant than life in Thailand. It's the food that I love, the people whom I love, the comfort that I grew up with and that I can relate to. Here I don't have any of that, or very little of it. But still, here it is where I feel the best, and not because of all these elements, but because I'm being much more selfless.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.